Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Seymour. Seymour is an old and distinguished surname originating with a Norman French family transplanted to England after the conquest of 1066. As a location-based surname, Seymour developed from Saint-Maur, a small commune in northern France, which was named after St. Maur, Latin Maurus. The surname would have been given to those who originally hailed from the small town and relocated to England for identification purposes. St. Maurice was a 6th century saint and one of the earliest disciples of St. Benedict. He is best known for establishing the first Benedictine monastery in Gaul, present-day France. As a result, Saint-Maur, as he's referred to in France, was a popular saint among the medieval French people, and many communes throughout France were named after him. St. Maur is also remembered for rescuing a fellow Benedictine monk, St. Placid, from drowning by miraculously running across the surface of a lake. The Latin Maurus basically means Moor, a description of the ancient Maori people of the then Roman province in northwestern Africa. Maurice is most likely borrowed from a Greek word meaning dark-skinned, a descriptive adjective of the Moors. Other names which also derive themselves from Maurice are Mo, Maurice, Maurice, Moritz, and Mauricio. Seymour, however, developed as a surname specifically in reference to Saint-Maur. The first evidence of the surname appeared in writing in the mid-12th century and was originally rendered de Sancto Mauro, later Seymour and Seymour. The Seymour family, who arrived to England from Saint-Maur on the heels of William the Conqueror, would a few centuries later hold the title of Dukes of Somerset, thanks to the generous favors afforded them by King Henry VIII, whose third and most favorite wife was a Seymour, Jane Seymour, the only wife to bear the king a male heir beyond infancy. Personality of the boy named Seymour. The number 8 personality has everything to do with power, wealth, and abundance. Somehow, this personality has been blessed on the material plane, but their authoritative and problem-solving traits provide evidence that their good fortunes are not just the luck of the lottery. They are well earned. This is the personality of CEOs and high-ranking military personnel. 8s are intensely active, hard-driving individuals. Success is only meaningful to them after a job well done. They are remarkable in their ability to see the larger picture right down to the smallest details and organize a strategy around success. They then have the ability to direct a group around them toward any goal and realize individual potential to get the most out of their team. Popularity of the boy named Seymour. Seymour is one of those random names no one really considers anymore. Even when it was in circulation, it was never really super fashionable. The name does date back to 1880 on the charts, the first year for which we have available name data, but its popularity was low-moderate at best. Seymour saw most of his usage in the early 1920s when he actually made America's top 200 list for a few years. After his 15 minutes of mild fame, Seymour would rapidly decline in usage. In fact, 1947 marks the last year the name even managed to secure a top 1,000 position. In other words, this name has rarely been used for almost 70 years now. Unfashionable and outdated, Old Seymour has disappeared from the American naming radar. We no longer see more of him, we say less. Quick facts on Seymour. Gender, boy. Origin, English. Number of syllables, 2. Ranking popularity, not applicable. Pronunciation, Seymour. Simple meaning, Saint Maurice, dark-skinned, Moorish. Characteristics of Seymour. Tenacious, authoritative, powerful, achiever, tough, wealthy, problem solver. Cultural references to the baby name, Seymour. Literary characters of the baby name Seymour. Seymour Glass is the eldest of the Glass children in J.D. Salinger's highly successful novels and stories featuring the Glass family, including A Perfect Day for Banana Fish, 1948, and Franny and Zoe, 1961, Seymour, An Introduction and Raise High the Roof Beam, Carpenters, 1963, and finally, Hapworth 16, 1924, 1965. In these volumes, Seymour is depicted as a brilliant child prodigy, starring along with the other Glass children on a children's radio quiz show, attaining a professorship at Columbia at age 20, and serving in World War II. He is a thinker, a philosopher, and a look-up to guide to his younger siblings. The world and the devil are all too much for this sensitive soul, however, and after one failed attempt, he successfully commits suicide at the age of 32. To the brothers and sisters he leaves behind, his memory is sacrosanct. In their eyes, and perhaps rightfully so, he is revered as a saint and sorely missed as their spiritual parent. Popular songs on Seymour. Suddenly Seymour, a song by Bell and Sebastian, Seymour Stein, a song by Little Shop of Horrors. Famous people named Seymour. Seymour, Hersh, journalist, Seymour Cassel, actor,